Pilgrim. So actually recently I just had the opportunity of playing Pilgrim, which is a kind of similar new, I don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of like you go in, you scavenge for loot and you bring it back. It's similar to Little Company. Recently I actually got to play it. Me and my friend both decided, fuck it, we'll buy it on Steam, we'll play it. And I wanted to give an honest review on it because I think this game is an example of how great a game could be, but it needs work. So I'm going to put out a disclaimer right now. I know the game is not finished. The devs are by no means finished with the game. They've already said they're making tons of updates. They only released a save system not long ago. But I just said I wanted to give a quick 5-minute review on the game. Simple as that. Anything I say here is my opinion. Feel free to go off on me on the comments because I find that really, really funny. Throw out whatever you got, mate, because I really couldn't care less. Obviously, you have to remember this is how the game is right now as of the 20th of July. The game could obviously change tomorrow. There could be a big fucking update that could change everything. This is the 20th of July 2024, the current state of the game and what I think of it. Pilgrim. Essentially, it is a game where you start off at the very start and you are given a lantern, torch, and you're given a crystal. These crystals power your ship, or not your ship, but I'm used to playing Little Company, your cart. You use this cart to get from A, which is your starting position, to B, which is this castle at the very end of the road you travel. Along the way, you find dungeons, crypts, places to explore for loot that can then be sold specifically to a merchant who you can buy crossbows, spears, bolts, torches, lanterns. You can buy chalk to revive your friends, face masks to revive your friends, and you can buy, most importantly, more crystals. The thing with crystals is use these crystals to essentially power the wagon so you don't have to push it. If you don't have any crystals, you can always push the wagon. This game, I seen it on Steam and I said it looks sick, it looks amazing, it's got a fear factor that Little Company never met, and I was like, I have to play this. And to be completely honest, the fear factor kept up. It definitely did. The fear factor is really, really, really good. The game's creepy, it's eerie, there's monsters that are far more interesting than Little Companies. I'll give them that. I would still say, I'm going to put it out there, I still say Little Company is a better game. It's a better made game. But when it comes to the creepiness factor and the eeriness factor, this game definitely does beat Little Company. And I'm using Little Company as an example because it is definitely an inspiration. The dungeon delving and the bringing back scrap and selling it to the merchant, it definitely is inspired by Little Company, and there's no doubt about it. And the only game I really know, apart from other ones if I did my research, but this is a quick 5-minute review. Probably won't be 5 minutes, probably be 7 or 8 minutes. It is like Little Company, and they've done a good job here with the fear factor. The fear factor is great. The game is eerie, as I said, creepy, there's good monsters. The monsters all had different abilities. You have your standard weeping angels, you have your standard spiders, you have other things I don't even know, to be honest. I think at one point I seen a head that was crawling on all fours. Tall man that kicked my head off. Don't know what that was, but it was pretty sick. Fear factor is definitely there. The gameplay factor was pretty cool. It was the idea, they changed it up. They didn't just directly copy Little Company. They had it so there was an actual end goal rather than other games where you just keep on going, it keeps increasing until eventually you can't do it. There is an end goal in this. It can be beaten. I didn't manage to beat it in my 2 hours that I played, and the reason I only played 2 hours, I'll stay in a second. The gameplay was good at first. I did enjoy it. It was enjoyable. The boredom crept in, and I kind of see it was going to happen. The boredom did creep in, and it really wasn't great. The first hour I played this game, we were discovering new stuff, discovering the dungeons, etc, etc, etc. After the hour, it got very stale. It was the same dungeon interiors. The dungeons actually felt in some cases where they weren't randomly generated, they were completely the same. It got very boring. Eventually, after about an hour, we knew exactly what we're doing. Go in, pick up enough scraps so we have our inventories full, and leave. And that was the whole thing. And at that point, it got very stale because often we were going into these dungeons and no mobs would spawn by the time we were done and we'd get out. The gameplay got very stale. Incredibly stale. And it was one of the number one reasons why I did actually refund the game in the end. Now, I'll probably buy it back pretty soon, but for now, I don't really have much interest in playing the game again. I wanted to give a 5-minute review because I think they have a great idea going here. The whole revive system with drawing the chalk for the satanic circle and the face mask and everything is brilliant. It's a truly really good concept. I feel as though the game is lacking a lot of horror outside the dungeons. The ogre that chases you at some point is exceptionally cool. That idea gave a little fear factor to just pushing the cart and feeling like you're not alone out in the open. But we found a lot of time, we were even playing for one time where we were playing for half an hour and the ogre just never spawned. And once we realized he was bugged and he wasn't spawning, there was no fear factor outside of the dungeons. There wasn't. Eventually it just came to the point, at the very start of the game, I was looking around me as I was pushing the cart. By the end, I was just pushing it because I knew no one was going to get me. And the fear factor had run out. And in this game, the fear factor is key. It's a horror game at the end of the day. So yeah, I think it needs a bit of work. The landscaping needs a bit of work. It was very flat terrain, copy and paste trees. Apart from the odd dungeon and the odd tower that came up, other than that, wasn't great. Onto kind of the merchant. The merchant system was perfect. The way they've done the merchants and him buying, selling, his voice lines were great. Everything. The money, the scrap value was always set to 10. I think that would be a great thing to change. Have different scrap be higher quality, rare, etc, etc. Having all scrap being 10 just seems like you're running around it's not even, it feels like you're running around trying to find items rather than trying to find specific items. As for that, the game was solid. I just wanted to give a quick review on it because I did enjoy the game for the first hour. It just got incredibly stale towards the last hour, and a game that wants to survive long run and do well long run, it's not going to work. What they had going here was amazing, and the system they had going, but I do feel like it needs some longevity. The game got very stale. I think if they added maybe a different fear factor that happened after the first massive gate you open, it would be better. Like maybe a second ogre that spawns, or another mob that can chase you, or mobs can actually attack your wagon as you're going. You have to fend them off. That would be something cool. It would give me an incentive to buy the weapons and buy the gear, because it felt like you could very easily get to the end but just running and not buying any crossbows or spears or anything like that. And we nearly did. We got fairly far into it, nearly got over half our journey by not picking up a single weapon and just outrunning everything. And if one person died, we just revived them. There's no incentive to use weaponry and there's no incentive to fight back. You can just run. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick review on the game. Other than that, the devs are doing a great job. I do support them. I do feel the game is not quite ready to be played longer than an hour. I feel like if you're going to buy this game, I'd recommend it. Give it a go. On Steam, you know, you might as well give it a go. You're supporting the devs. I was going to refund it and I didn't in the end. I decided to keep it to support the devs. So, game's amazing. They're doing a good job, and I think with a tiny bit more work, they could definitely work it out. But right now, if you're looking for a game that's going to serve you more than an hour or two, I would maybe look further afield. Maybe come a year, 6 months time, the game will have developed more and they will have added more content outside the ship. Would be definitely better, but right now, it's a solid 5 out of 10. I give it that. And I think that's a solid grade for what the game is right now. I definitely support the devs. They're doing a brilliant job. They seem to be very dedicated to it and they seem to not be giving up whatsoever. And I do respect that a lot. Game's on Steam. Recommend going and buying it if you want to give it a test. There's gameplay in the background now if it's been playing for the last 9 minutes. So yeah, go give it a go.